Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is another movie preview, as we said on Wednesday nights. We don't go live, but we are going to be doing movie previews. The movie I want to talk about today, getting right into it, is The Iron Claw. Check the movie out if you're a wrestling fan, as I was growing up with Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher and the Junkyard Dog and Bobo Brazil and all those others. There was a family called the Von Erichs, and they were from Texas, and they started. I guess their father was a wrestler, and he started his own little wrestling federation down there in Texas. And this movie's about kind of about him living his dreams through his sons, but in the process, I think it was a lot of causing emotional stress to the young men. Uh, you can look at it two ways: the fathers being proud of his sons. That whole Texas rough, uh, cornbread fed uh, boys that wanted to please their father, and he was a proud father, and I guess he kind of led with a iron fist and the iron claw. I don't know how many people remember that was the finishing move on a on that they use most of the time in wrestling. So all the boys, Kevin, Carey, David, and Mike, were wrestlers, and it's a lot of them ended up dying. So they were like premier wrestlers back in the early '80s. Uh, but by the '90s, the Von Erichs had pretty much disappeared from the scene. There were uh, multiple deaths. I think only one is still left alive. I think Kevin is still alive, uh, but the others experienced hardships and things. Uh, could have been from the pressures of life. I guess this is a better picture of Kevin, Carey, and David. Like I say, I remember they were some big buff dudes. They got in there. They fought a lot against the fabulous Freebirds, uh, Ric Flair. A lot of things that happened in wrestling at that time was orchestrated. Ric Flair became very popular because of his showmanship, and there was a lot of showmanship that was necessary to ascend to that top level. So when you see somebody like The Rock come in and he's got showmanship, or you see Randy the Macho Man Savage or Hulk Hogan, it's always the personalities in wrestling that get those opportunities to be the champ. And so the family was constantly chasing that glory of winning some championships. Uh, but as stated, are you a showman where people want to come see you? And Ric Flair was one of the ultimate showmen. Him and the Four Horsemen. You had the Road Warriors came later, but they were great showsmen. Uh, and it was you knew it was fake. The fake blood. They would take a razor blade, and some would have real blood. They would cut their heads, or they would orchestrate how they were going to move. Uh, the Sheik with the camel clutch. Jake the Snake Robert with the diamond cutter. These were all things that excited us as young kids watching wrestling and wanting to participate in these type of activities. I think it's a male testosterone type of movie. So I think the men will probably enjoy the movie more so than the ladies. It is definitely a guy flick, and I would give this can't give it 5 stars. I could, but I'm not. I give it 4 stars, even 4.5. I thought it was an interesting movie. It's about 2 hours long, so if you're into long movies, it's 2 hour long movie. Very interesting about the family dynamics and how it's so hard for them to break up that brother bond and have individual lives because their lives were so intertwined, and how were these deaths necessary for them to escape the hold that their father had on them. So again, I give it 4.5 stars. I thought it was a great movie, but I'm a wrestling fan. Definitely a dudes type of flick. Go check it out. That's my viewing of it. And we will be back tomorrow night, Thursday nights. Third Thursday every month. It's going to be Relationship Thursday. So we're going to be talking about marriage, relationships, and things like that. Definitely not for the young folks, but anybody that's thinking about marriage or is married and wants to talk about situations. We're not giving nobody advice. We're just talking about different subjects based on that. So we will see you all tomorrow. Love, peace, soul. We out of here.
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove
I
you.
refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step
Now if your woman ain't no revolutionary, she'll persuade you to be a fucking slave for the rest of your days. She'll be grooming you on how to behave, teaching you how to coon and buck dance so that you can be safe. If that brother ain't no rider, soldier, no provider, motor of young minds, check it out, you got yourself a bitch. Think about the time that you invested in him. If he's wearing them skinny jeans, you a lesbian.